Does your Flins suck? Do your friends laugh at you because your pay-to-win meta goth main DPS can't clear the abyss? Look no further. I got you. Getting into artifact sets, you want to be running a 4-piece Night of the Skies unveiling on Flins 100% of the time, as this is his best in slot artifact set. The 4-piece set provides him with a maximum of 30% crit rate as well as a 10% lunar damage buff for every Notcry character on the team. Your Flins would also appreciate having an attack percentage Sands as well as an attack percentage Goblet. This is because you want at least 2000 attack on Flins, and I'll get into that later in the video. The circlet varies. I recommend using a crit damage circlet as it provides what crit damage you'll be missing, but if you're good on that, then running a crit rate circlet should be just fine. Flins is quite generous when it comes to his weapons, as he isn't limited to 5 stars only. His best 5-star weapons are his signature Blood-Soaked Runes, Scarlet Sands, Staff of Homa, Jade Winged Spear, which he's currently sharing with Marlikino, and Anefa's signature Fractured Halo. Although you can't use 100% of Fractured Halo, as the passive does require Flins creating a shield, which he cannot do. You also have a variety of 4-star options, the best of which are Deathmatch, the Notcry Craftable Prospector Shovel, Ballad of the Fjords, and Missive Wind. Keep in mind you can get a crazy buff up to 96% electro charge damage and 48% lunar charge damage depending on the amount of Notcry characters on the team while using the Notcry Craftable. So your Flins is dealing terrible numbers. Make sure you're playing him correctly as well as leveling up the corresponding talents for your playstyle. Flins has 2 playstyles, Burst and Mini Burst, or Skill. The only difference between these two is that usually they require different mechanics when it comes to rotations. So for his skill, you would use everyone on your team beforehand, and then once you get to Flins, you want to click on his skill twice and use his burst. For his burst, you do the same thing except you simply just click his burst instead of having to click his skill twice. His passives also provide a good percentage of Flins damage. This passive, Symphony of Winter, Flins will gain a corresponding buff effect based on the party's moon sign level, meaning the more Notcry characters you have, the better. So, lunar charge reactions triggered by Flins will deal an additional 20% damage if you have an Ascendant Gleam party. This passive, Flins' Elemental Mastery, is increased by 8% of his attack. The maximum increase obtainable this way is 160. Meaning, once you have 2000 attack on Flins, you are making the most of this passive. But it isn't only this passive that benefits from Flins having 2000 attack, as this passive also makes him way better once you have 2000 attack. When a party member triggers an electrocharged reaction, it will be converted into the lunar charged reaction with every 100 attack that Flins has, increasing lunar charged base damage by 0.7% up to a maximum of 14%. Meaning, with 2000 attack, Flins is making the most out of this passive by adding 14% more damage to lunar reactions. Teams. Flins' premium team is currently him, Anefa, Columbina, and Sucrose. If you don't have Anefa, don't worry, Flins' team slots have many replacements. Before we get into these replacements, I want to put it out there that Anefa doesn't directly provide any necessary buff to Flins unless she has her signature. Her kit does provide some EM, but she isn't like a Scoffier's to Skirk. So with that out of the way, let's find out who we can replace some of these characters with. Anefa has a couple of good substitutes, of which Fischl is the best, but you can play Kuki in her slot as well as a sub DPS Raiden if you really want to. In any case, if you're playing with Fischl and Sucrose, you'll get the Hexray buff, which will prove to be very beneficial in the future. Speaking of, Sucrose can also be replaced with a Kazuha or any Animo who can carry a 4-piece Viridescent Burner set for the rest shred. For Columbina's replacement, you'll usually want Aino to fill that spot, as she was given to everyone for free and is also a very good substitute in Columbina's place. Besides her, you can either play a Farina or a Xingqiu as a free-to-play option. Really, any Hydro will do, as long as they are constantly applying Hydro.
新月が交渉は終わりです。6308
お静かに。ほら、夜ですね。
姿を見せよ。おだバシャバシャ水弾吸引テスト開始。
目を閉じて。ほら、暗闇は怖いですか。やっとお静かに。足元を救われませんよ。
Overall, your Flins might suck because of something as simple as bad teams, wrong artifacts, or bad rotations, but also something as complex as his amount of attack needed or the party's moon sign level. If you plan on pulling Flins in the future, keep in mind that to make the most out of his DPS, you'll want a high investment team, so be sure to pull Colombina or Nefa as well. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe. This took me a little over a week to make, so anything would be appreciated. Okay, bye!